I would underscore what Regent Zeke said, that we have an exceptional number of commenters here, so I would encourage you to maintain time, discipline, and respect for other commenters so that all may be heard. I'm going to call commenters up in batches, so maybe 4 to 5 at a time with a number of microphones. So for the first 4, may I have Elizabeth Jeffrey, Mickey Ilashevsky, Beth Jeffries, is that the same as Elizabeth Jeffrey? Yes. Okay, great. Kim Van Summeren, and then Sharitha Escobar and John June. So 5 people, please. Thank you. Can we start with Elizabeth Jeffrey, please?
And if you would, as we begin, just a reminder, Elizabeth and others, if you would state your name and then let us know how you're connected to the university. It really helps us with context so we understand when you're speaking, and we can understand, okay, I get it in that frame. So thank you all. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
My name is Elizabeth Beth Jeffrey, and I've been an undergraduate advisor at the UW-Tacoma for the past 19 years. I'm speaking to you today on behalf of myself and my advising colleagues who are organizing a union with SEIU 925. On June 28th, we filed for union recognition, and subsequently, UW Labor Relations have withheld our previously scheduled merit cost of living pay increases, citing a misinterpretation of the dynamic status quo collective bargaining law. The Board of Regents authorized the 3% merit raises in April, long before we filed for union recognition. This raise is for our previous year's meritorious work, and this pay is owed to us now. That's right. Advisors are already one of the lowest paid groups of professional employees at UW. Those of us who work on the Tacoma campus are the lowest paid of all. We were planning on those raises, and many of us are single parents and barely surviving. Prices have gone up for all of us on childcare, transportation, groceries, and rent. We need these raises now. We work tirelessly and give up our lives on behalf of the students we serve. We advocate for them. We are the reason that many students persist and graduate, and we give our heart and souls to this work. We're dedicated public servants who are passionate about the work that we do. We are passionate about students graduating from the UW. Now we are trying to advocate for ourselves by unionizing, and we are being oppressed for doing so. The UW administration is making it clear to us that advisors' vital contributions to the mission of the UW is not about your community and public, but rather than an institution that encourages growth and new ideas. You are operating like a heartless corporation that precious employees who dare to try to organize it. You have to stay behind that table so you can go back around and go okay. You have to go back. Oh, she told me to come here. Honor your word. I want you to give us the 3% merit raises that we've already earned and that we more than deserve. And we need those raises now. This is a barrier.
And I'm here today on behalf of my colleagues from UW Continuums College, newly formed SEIU Union. I'm here to tell you today that you have a labor problem. Today I'm here, along with my fellow union members, to deliver a petition of over 500 signatures from staff and faculty, UW students and student workers, alumni, community members, and even far as family and friends, to say that we are demanding that UW pays our merit increases. These merit raises are paramount, as UW does not give us cost of living adjustment to match with the increases in inflation.
Shame on you, UW.
By withholding these merit raises, you are denying people of their hard-earned money that they not only deserve but are counting on. I myself was hoping to start family planning this year, and I'm unable to now because I do not have any extra funds for those doctor's appointments. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. With unrest from your staff of unfair labor practices, lack of DEIB practices, overworking, poor planning, little transparency, lack of leadership, and an unstandardized practice across UW's own colleges, we as UW employees are fed up.
Yeah.
bare minimum of respect for the hard work that we have put in. What will you do to help fix this, to get our raises to us? And if you take away anything, I'm here to remind you that you have a labor problem. You are withholding our merit, and that is union busting. We deserve our merit raises. We are worthy of our merit.
Hello, my name is Kim Van Sumeren. I'm an instructional technician for the School of Art, History, and Design at the University of Washington. I'm here on behalf of myself as well as the thousands of other union workers at UW. I love what my job has allowed me to do at UW. Conducting, supporting, and consulting with faculty and students on academic research rooted in tradition and innovation in art and design is an opportunity that most in my field do not get. I have dedicated nearly 20 years to this research. I have been at the university since 2004 as a graduate student, adjunct faculty, and now permanent staff. At face, I'm a success story. On paper, I am depleted. My job and many other jobs at UW are no longer competitive. I earn 40% less of what is currently on the market for the same position at peer institutions and even community colleges. I, along with thousands at Level 1 Research University, have zero path for growth and are topped out at our salaries with increased workloads. Faculty retirements and incoming faculty research agendas have placed staff on overdrive. What was once a motivating job with a clear path for passion and excellence is now a dead-end state job. And the icing on the cake to be given a Band-Aid cost of living increase when Seattle is the 8th most expensive place to live in the world, according to MSNBC, is nothing more than egregious. In order to make ends meet, I have to work 2 additional jobs. One of these is at a nonprofit, which pays more per hour than at UW, in the arts. Why do I have to do this? Since my last salary review in 2015, childcare is up 90%. I have twins. Gas is up 97%, 520 tolls are up 59%, and utilities are up 106%. These all affect me and others, those of us at UW who keep the excellence and boundlessness going. It is the professional and classified staff that ensure the facilities and courses run without hiccup, that faculty research blooms, and that students achieve excellence. The UW is neglecting the very legs it depends upon. Are you willing to watch its foundation crumble? Is this integrity, excellence, collaboration, and the respect that UW promotes, or is what is just on paper?
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sharita Escobar. I'm SEIU 95 Chapter Vice President. I'm ESS Supervisor on Northwest Campus, where I have oversight of the front desk staff at the Breast Imaging Clinic, as well as the MRI front desk. I am here today to express my disappointment with the way the University of Washington can even utter an insulting 1% as a pay increase, and that yourself settle for such a low ball amount.
What were your raises last year, board?
When you make these decisions, do you put yourselves in the shoes or the mindset of the people who clean the hospitals, those who prepare the food, the folks who respond to your IT needs, or those of us who are patient-facing and responding to the inbound calls? Do you know someone who does the same work or similar work? Would you encourage your family or friends to settle for a 1% increase? I'm not going to ask that question about yourself, because clearly you decision makers think that you're somehow above us, which is probably why the meeting was canceled last night in order for y'all to clean classes at the mansion. A different path in life, but that does not give you the right to play roulette with our lives. We should not be treated differently because of our job class, our background, or the way that we speak. We deserve a fair contract with livable wage, pay increase, protective language around our contract, and everyone needs to feel included. And we need something to do about this staffing.
Yeah.
UW claims to be the employer of choice, yet you ignore your employees when we reach out to you. You have a problem, UW. You have a labor unrest, you've got student unrest, and classes haven't even started. And do the right thing. I am asking you to do the right thing today. I'll ask everyone behind me, if who's with me, to please stand up in solidarity.
Hi, I'm John June. I work in transportation services. I'm here with SEIU, and I represent the lowest paid workers at the university. I'm at the bottom of the pay scale. In April 2022, I had a major life event happen, divorce. Luckily for me, my ex-wife and I agreed on the terms of the divorce, and we knew someone that worked in the divorce attorney's office, so we didn't have to hire a lawyer. This saved me thousands of dollars. Despite that, I needed to sell my house, work on my mental health, find a way to get to and from work because my wife owned our car and I lived in Tacoma. I had to find a new place to live. Therapy was $150 every 2 weeks. My psychiatrist appointment was $80 a month. The housing market was going down at the time, and I needed to make my house appealing for prospective buyers, and that meant doing general repairs while having other expenses pile up. I could not afford to buy a car, pay for insurance, and pay for parking at UW. If I wanted to continue to work, I had to find a way to take public transportation from Tacoma. I thought about quitting and moving to Kentucky to live with my dad, just so I could have a place to stay and eat. I thought about buying a car, leaving it uninsured and unregistered, parking in a parking lot, and trying to live there so I could work. I had a coworker reach out to me and offer me their home if I needed it, but they worked first shift and I worked second shift, and public transit didn't run to their house. That would mean me waking up at 5 a.m., riding with them to UW, doing nothing until my shift started at 12:45 p.m., taking a $50 Uber back to their house at 9:15. Coincidentally, I was fortunate enough to have a friend move to Seattle, and they let me stay with them, and I was able to commute to work with the U-Pass. Now my rent was free, but I was going to lose money on the house. When you sell a house for less than you bought it for, you have to pay the difference. I dipped into my retirement for my last job to pay that difference. I put daily expenses on my credit card so I could use my paycheck to pay that difference. This was the first time in my life that I was in debt. I had to choose between being able to afford much needed therapy at the time or eating lunch. I had to go to the Husky Food Bank every week so that I could eat, and I was still skipping meals because I truly could not afford them. Every month the house didn't sell was one more month of mortgage I had to pay for. I was sleeping on a 5-foot-long love seat. I'm 5'9" because it was slightly more comfortable than my friend's hardwood floor. If I didn't have so many people willing to support me, my life could have changed forever. I didn't have to hire a lawyer. I had a friend who let me live with them for free for 8 months, and I had a retirement fund I could dip into. Many people are not as fortunate as I am, and I still just barely scraped by using all the resources available to me. My total loss in my house was only $10,000. If I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck, this major life event would have been much easier. I would have had savings to fall back on. I would have been able to eat and pay for therapy at the same time, and I would not have had to sacrifice all that I did. The turmoil of this one event would have been much smaller and wouldn't have expanded into an absolute struggle for livelihood. Bruce Feiler, author of Life is in the Transitions, says the average person goes through 3 dozen disruptors over the course of their lives. These are things like breaking an ankle, moving, or the death of a family member. However, 3 to 5 of these disruptors turn into what he calls life quakes, a major disruptor that causes a chain of other disruptors. My coworkers and I cannot afford a single life quake.
Thank you.
Welcome to the University of Washington caucusing service. Please enter your conference passcode, followed by the pound key.
I'm so sorry. I still have a petition to do as well.
Okay.
There are currently 2 other participants in the conference.
May I have Anne Marie Kavanaugh, Rizal Monkit, Lacey Cheers, Ken Clark, and Alicia Finch, please.
Anne Marie Kavanaugh had another appointment, so she asked me to fill in.
Okay, thank you, Paula.
Paul, why don't you go ahead and start?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you were calling on me.
If you're Anne Marie.
I know I'm Anne Marie. I'm really Paula Lukazik. I'm a plumber on main campus. I'm the president of Local 1495, which represents members here at the main campus, U of WMC, Bothell, and Tacoma. The U of W's measly wage offer at the bargaining table will deepen the cost of living crisis faced by many of U of W's frontline workers. It's unacceptable that many of their hardworking employees who keep campus and the U of W hospitals running are food and housing insecure, with many forced to commute many hours each day in order to survive on U of W wages. You've had a food bank here since 2016 for food insecure students and employees. We say shame on you for your wages. 2 years ago at bargaining, 37% of my members got 4% COLA when inflation was 12.5. That put them 8.5 behind. And they have continued to get behind even now. Your offer of 2% and 1% is not enough. Our food service workers, custodians, gardeners, sheet metal workers, carpenters aren't keeping up with the high cost of living in King County. We're the workers who keep the two hospitals, main campus, Bothell and Tacoma, running. Right. What would you do if we didn't show up one day? Would you be able to run the place? I doubt it. You don't know how to run this place. As my local has been saying, 2% is milk. It's not a COLA. So, all of us workers, we're the spoke on a wheel. If the wheel is broken and the spokes fall off, who runs your place? Who will feed your patients? Who will clean the buildings? You think that this wheel is going to keep rolling along and along and along? Think again. What happens if one day it falls apart and nobody shows up? What will you do then? So, we need a high COLA. What do we do if we don't get it? Shut it down. We need a high COLA. What will you do if we don't get it? Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Good morning. My name is Owen Heath from Sectors. I work at Harvard Medical Center on the Financial Counseling Department. And to remind the board, the mission for UW Medicine is to serve the health of the public. My job as a financial counselor is to help our community, regardless of color of the skin, country of origin, language, sexuality, religious creed, or their ability to pay. Yet, in our negotiations with UW, it is clear that the UW's priority is profit over people. And with nearly $1 billion of unrestricted reserves, the UW saw fit to offer workers a 1% raise while they allow staffing concerns to go unanswered. Why? Because they know it is cheaper to maintain a smaller workforce, all while paying less. And to whose benefit? Not to the public. This is contrary to your publicly stated help to improve the health of the public. I dare the board to defend the 1% increase while it asks more from its workers. I dare you to answer that. Defend your position. Myself and my colleagues at UW Medicine, social workers, technicians, nurses, lab workers, we are the ones who make the hospitals work. We are the function and the beating heart of hospitals. We do what we do because we want to help people. We want to make them better, we want to make them whole. We want to bring them peace of mind. That is what we do. That is what we should aim to do for each and every single human being on this floor. And yet, we can only do so much, and we ask for your support and for your help, and yet you come back to the bargaining table and just offer us nothing and ignore every single request or disregard everything we ask or even to look at. Even so much so that Harborview set up a food drive for employees. Employees. All that UW did was just offer space and trash bins for us to put the food in. Not even offering to match it or anything else like that. We're donating food to help other employees. That's it. You're not even contributing money or matching food donations to help employees. Imagine that. For shame.
Look what they're eating right now. Sorry.
So, all we ask is you recognize that you have severe problems, and if corrections are not made, well, I will leave it to your imagination.
Lacey Cheers was able to be at the meeting as it was scheduled, but not today, so I'm standing in for her. My name is Karen Seeger. I am a research consultant with Harborview Injury Prevention and Research Center with over 20 years of experience across the schools of medicine, public health, and social work. I am here today representing a community of 700 research coordinators and consultants at the University of Washington. Earlier this week, we took a significant step by filing our union certification petition to join our research colleagues in the UAW 4121 bargaining unit to the Washington Public Employee Relations Commission. We respectfully ask that UW voluntarily recognize our unit and commit to negotiating fairly with us. We ask for a swift and transparent certification process where we can work together with UW admin to resolve any issues quickly and bargain a contract for equitable and safe working conditions for all research coordinators and consultants.
It's easier.
UW thrives because we do the essential work that supports its research mission. Our contributions are key to the success of this institution, and we deserve a voice in shaping our working conditions and ensuring fair treatment.
Yes, we do.
We also stand in solidarity with our colleagues in SEIU and WFSC who are engaged in the same fight. Together, we're pushing for better working conditions and rights that will allow all of us to thrive at UW. We must address a critical issue. What UW is doing to academic advisors and continuing college staff is unjust. Withholding their earned raises as retaliation for organizing efforts is a violation of their rights. That's right. These actions undermine the trust, respect, and very values that UW should stand for. It's time for UW to stand with its workers, to respect our rights, treat us fairly, and recognize the hard work that we do for UW.
Ken Clark.
Morning, thank you.
Go, Ken.
As you know, my name is Ken Clark. I'm with Facilities Maintenance and Construction. I'm represented by Washington Federation of State Employees. I'm also the Vice President for 1495. As you know, we're in contract negotiations right now. We're supposed to be done this past Tuesday, but we're not. We're still very far apart in negotiations regarding compensation. UW management is offering us a 3% raise across the board, which is way below the cost of inflation. If we accept their proposal, then you are asking us to take a pay cut. Meanwhile, we have people who work at this world-class institution who need to rely on food banks, government assistance, and live in low-income housing just to make ends meet. We have people working at this world-class institution who make just barely enough that they don't qualify for low-income housing and are forced to live in homes with 2 or 3 other families, live in their cars, work 2 jobs or more, or commute from 50-plus miles away. The wages are paid here are so low compared to other employers in the area that there's a huge recruitment and retention problem in every job classification. In facilities, we've been working with one roofer for the entire campus for over a year. We can't even get a roofer to apply for the vacant positions, let alone accept a position when it is offered to them. In the trades, anywhere other than UW, there are apprentices, there's journey level workers, and there's foremen. An apprentice is paid based on a percentage of what a journey level worker makes. Once that apprentice gets through the program and graduates as a journey level worker, they're paid the same amount as every other journey level worker in that trade. There's no such thing as a first, second, or even third year journey level worker. There's just a journey level worker. The only person in their respective trade that makes paid more is a foreman. There's no tiered pay structure that takes years to get to the top of the pay scale. Here at UW, journey level trades workers are hired at steps that take years to get to the top level of the pay scale. When you try to hire an experienced and qualified level journey worker at anything but the top scale, it's an insult and tells them that you don't respect their skills, experience, or expertise. Many journey level tradespeople turn down job offers that they are offered lower steps than what their experience deserves. Even at the top steps, they are paid about 40% less than what they could be making working in the private sector. And we're told we can't compare our wages to the private sector in bargaining. I guess UW management doesn't realize that these people are being hired from the same labor pool that every other institution in the area is hiring from. To make up for that low pay here at UW, management is trying to force an apprenticeship program on us that would have an apprentice graduate from the program as a journey level worker at the lowest pay step allowed for that job classification, which would take another 6 years for them to get to the top of the pay scale. This tells us that management does not take an apprenticeship seriously and does not respect the trades. On this campus, there are buildings that have been leaking for years, buildings that are crumbling and slip and trip and fall hazards that are addressed by placing a cone over them. There are irrigations that are completely shut off because they leak so badly with no plan to repair them because we don't have the staffing to deal with the issues. Management is hiring more and more maintenance mechanics who are semi-skilled tradespeople who work for much lower paid than skilled tradespeople. While maintenance mechanics are great, they lack the skills to do a lot of the work that is required here to maintain this beautiful campus. We need more experienced journey level workers here, and the only way to get them is to pay more. The low staffing issue also puts a lot of employees in unsafe working conditions because they're being forced to work alone on jobs that require more than one person. If any of you want to see an example of a crumbling building, when you're done here, just walk past City Hall and look up. We have a mason go up there in an area lift every 2 years, 2 to 3 years with a hammer, a chisel, and a bucket. They tap along the entire surface of the building, and if they hear a hollow spot, they break it off and put it in the bucket so that comes down in a controlled manner rather than falling on someone's head. Last year, the mason took 12 5-gallon buckets of debris off the face of the building. I was told by management there's no plans to take that building down because it won a bunch of architectural awards back in the 60s. I'm sorry, the 60s was 60 years ago. It's time to take down some of the worst buildings on campus. I would also like to state that if we had the right staffing levels, it's a good chance City Hall would never have gotten into the condition it is now.
That's right.
We are people who maintain this campus. We clean up the human waste and the drug paraphernalia. We provide security, take care of patients. We keep the bathrooms stocked and clean. We shuttle people from the hospitals between campuses. We cook and serve the food and deliver the mail. There's a lot more that we do here. We see behind the beautiful facades and know that the infrastructure is crumbling. We need better pay to recruit skilled workers to maintain the UW campus before it's too late. Please support reasonable raises for all of us who work at the UW. We deserve to be respected.
Hello and good day. I'm Alicia. I work as a counselor for UW Seattle, and I want to provide a brief timeline of how I feel we've gotten here. Workplaces are increasingly turning over, people are sick and grieving. For many of the people who work here, money is incredibly tight for them and their loved ones, as you've heard. This advisors union has been the work of many people over several years, across campuses who expect better for themselves and those around them. Today we are here for various reasons, withholding of raises, retaliatory workplaces, and many other examples that 2 minutes prevents us from sharing. This is an invitation, an extension to you all, the UW Board of Regents, to start working with us. As those with the power, where we all go from here is your choice. I'm coming to you today asking that we work to transform this conflict and be examples of what those who are to come after us can do. Talk with us and notify management of the expectations moving forward. Finally, I came here today to ask for support. Me and my colleagues in the Office of Multicultural Outreach and Recruitment have been experiencing disparate treatment, an office created from the resistance of Black student union members. There has been unresolved acts of racism coming from our leadership and other oppressive behaviors and actions from the same leadership that has created a dangerous workplace for employees. These experiences have harmed and are continuing to harm staff as well as current and prospective students. I am currently taking my lunch break to be here right now. That's how seriously I take this. We need our union to be able to create grievance procedures and processes so we can stay in the jobs that we so deeply care about.
Yes.
Please let this be the beginning of the conversation. And to all those people here today, don't stop talking. Our stories are powerful. That's why they limit our time. Thank you so much for allowing me to share. Stay well and free Palestine.
Let's meet Grace Curry and Kate Johnson before moving on to the next topic, please.
All right, my name is Grace Curry. I am a third-year student at UW Seattle. I study disability studies and environmental science and resource management. I just want to start off by saying that I love UW. I love my classes, I love my professors, my department, I love the friendships I've made and the people I've met. I love going to sports games and I love the RSOs I'm involved in. I would say that I'm a proud Palestinian. But over the past year, I have watched as UW has ignored our pleas to divest from Israel and stand in support and solidarity with the Palestinian people. I also sit here today standing in support with our union members and all of the employees who work at UW who are underpaid and deserve more. Makes me ashamed to be a UW student. We should be paying our workers and we should be listening to our students and community members. I go to class every day and learn about disabling conditions in Gaza and the West Bank, the starvation, the lack of medical care and treatment. Israel has dropped thousands of pounds of bombs onto UN schools and hospitals and families' homes. Palestinian liberation is a disability rights issue. Palestinian liberation is an environmental issue. I go to class and I learn these issues, and I think it's UW's money that we're sending. I am here today to demand that the University of Washington fully divest from companies complicit in Israel's illegal occupation and the ongoing genocide of the Palestinian people. I am begging you to look into your hearts. UW needs to divest from genocide and war profiteering. It horrifies me to think that UW's dollars, my tuition dollars, thousands of dollars I pay every year to go to the university I love, are being used to take innocent lives. Every day we delay, the genocide continues, and the Regents have a duty and moral responsibility to divest from morally reprehensible companies. I beg you to listen to your students and divest from Israel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kate. I'm a third-year student at the University of Washington and the chairperson of Anak Bayan at the University of Washington, a comprehensive youth and student organization of Filipinos who are also ashamed to be UW students. Last May at UW Medical Center in Monmouth Lake, organized workers known as Food and Nutrition Services Workers United, or FNS, presented 5 clear demands to management after nearly a year and a half of experiencing your labor cost-cutting program mission forward. Their demands were to ensure safe and sufficient staffing with proper compensation, to conduct a department-wide pay audit, provide clear job descriptions to each worker, ensure proper breaks are upheld for every worker, and to provide a neutral meeting space for a regular meeting with workers in both AM and PM shifts to increase transparency in decision-making. Dare I say, incredibly basic demands. After 2 months of inaction and retaliatory tactics from management, the FNS Workers United sat before you here in July, explained their experiences and demands to you. They were met with insult when you affirmed the UW Medicine CEO's report that characterized Mission Forward as a success, for squeezing more profits out of the workers and repression with the unjust firing of Nika after they spoke alongside their FNS co-workers.